Today feels like a bit of an adventure. We're heading out to Castle Hot Springs Resort, a place so special it made Travel and Leisure's list of the top 500 resorts in the world for 2025. But this isn't a faraway retreat in Europe, perched along the French Riviera, hidden in some posh ski village, or set on a tropical Pacific island. No, Castle Hot Springs sits tucked away along a dusty backcountry road, deep in a canyon of the Bradshaw Mountains northwest of Phoenix, Arizona. We're in for a rare treat. One of Teresa's friends and her husband work at the resort, and since the property is closed for the season, they invited us out for a private tour. Our journey begins as we turn off Highway 74 onto Castle Hot Springs Road. The drive itself is part of the story, but before we get too far, let me share a little history about this remarkable place. Our fascination with Castle Hot Springs actually began back in 2010, soon after we moved to Arizona. Once the boxes were unpacked, we couldn't wait to explore, and one of our first four-wheel drive adventures led us here. At the time, the resort looked abandoned, scattered old buildings weathered by the desert sun, and plenty of no trespassing signs warning curious explorers like us to stay away. Naturally, that made us curious, so we started digging into its past. What we learned was fascinating. When it first opened in 1890, Castle Hot Springs was a playground for the rich and famous. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and John F. Kennedy once stayed here, along with artist Maxfield Parrish, author Zane Grey, and families like the Vanderbilts and Rockefellers. But time was unkind. A fire destroyed the Palm House, the resort's centerpiece, in 1976, and another fire in 1996 sealed its fate. For years, the property sat in decline, passing through different owners until 2014, when an Arizona couple purchased it and began an ambitious 5-year restoration. By 2019, Castle Hot Springs had been reborn. Since then, it's soared back to fame, earning the title of Arizona's #1 resort in 2021, 2022, 2024, and again in 2025, alongside its spot among the world's best resorts. Back on the road, the first 7 miles are paved as we pass the turnoffs for Lake Pleasant. After that, the asphalt gives way to a gravel track, with wash crossings and stretches of washboard ruts, classic Sonoran desert backroads. The desert surrounds us with towering saguaros, palo verde trees, and even the occasional wild donkey grazing near the roadside. Gradually, the scenery changes. The open desert views tighten into rugged canyons carved into the Bradshaw Mountains. Early settlers thought the rocky ridges looked like the battlements of a castle, and when they found water here, they gave the place its name, Castle Creek. Finally, as we dip down into the wash and follow the winding road, something unexpected comes into view: tall palm trees rising out of the canyon. In this rugged desert setting, they seem almost out of place, but to us, they're a signal. We're close to something extraordinary. The moment you arrive, the desert seems to disappear. Palm trees sway gently against the sky so vivid it could belong to San Diego, Orlando, even Hawaii, anywhere but the rugged heart of Arizona. A sweep of lush green grass stretches before you, so unexpected it feels like stepping into a dream. As you follow the lane toward the lodge, the breeze stirs the palms, their rustling leaves carrying a hush of calm that settles over you. The path soon opens to neat rows of orange trees, branches heavy with sun-bright fruit, the same oranges that will be pressed into fresh juice at breakfast. It's the first glimpse of the farm-to-table philosophy woven into every detail of this place. The lodge greets you with the warmth of natural wood, sunlight spilling generously through wide windows that seem to invite the outdoors in. From the balcony, the world opens up. Below, the shimmer of the pool. Beyond, vast open spaces framed by the rugged, saguaro-covered Bradshaw Mountains. Just beyond the lodge, tucked into a wide stretch of green lawn, you'll find the bocce and pickleball courts, inviting spaces where laughter and a little friendly competition often fill the air. Wander a bit farther, and the path leads you to one of the resort's most unique treasures, the farm. We've all heard about the farm-to-table movement, with its promise of fresh, seasonal ingredients and closer connections between land and plate. But here at Castle Hot Springs, that idea isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. The culinary team doesn't just know their farmers by name, they work alongside them. Rows of herbs, vegetables, citrus, and even edible flowers grow right here on the property, destined to appear on your plate just hours after being harvested. For the past decade, the farm staff have refined their craft, embracing regenerative practices that nourish the soil as much as the soul. With more than 300 days of Arizona sunlight in a steady flow of mineral-rich spring water from the hot springs themselves, they've cultivated a thriving ecosystem of 150 rotating crops. This bounty forms the heart of every meal served at the resort, dishes that are as healthful and sustainable as they are indulgent and delicious. But the farm isn't just the resort's pantry, it's a place of discovery. Guests are invited to wander the rows, breathe in the fragrance of fresh herbs, and linger in a secluded nook where the hum of bees in the sunflowers and the songs of birds overhead remind you how alive the land really is. Leaving the farm and crossing the wide open space, the path gently winds toward the cabins. The air feels different here, quieter, softer, as if inviting you to slow your pace and take in the desert's grandeur. The resort offers two distinct choices for your stay, each with its own character. To the right, the Skyview cabins rise gracefully on elevated foundations, offering a front row seat to the ever-changing drama of the desert sky. From sunrise spilling golden light across the horizon to the velvet night sprinkled with stars, these cabins were designed to make the heavens feel close enough to touch. Looking out from the private decks, the view sweeps across the lush green grounds below and then outward to the rugged beauty of the Sonoran Desert. Inside, the design blends warmth and elegance, but it's the outdoor spaces that make these cabins unforgettable. To the left of the path lie the spring bungalows, each one a quiet retreat embraced by the rhythm of the land. Wide covered patios beckon you outside, where soft lounge chairs and a glowing fireplace create the perfect setting for lingering conversations or quiet moments alone. From here, the view stretches across the desert landscape, while the gentle murmur of the spring drifts through the air, a soothing soundtrack that makes time feel slower, softer, more generous. Back on the path, we continue our walk up the canyon, heading toward the very heart of this place, Castle Hot Springs itself. But before we arrive, there's one last stop worth making. Off to the right, tucked against the canyon wall, stands a large weathered structure, the original canyon barn. In the resort's early days, self-reliance wasn't just a choice, it was a necessity. The barn once powered the entire resort, its machinery humming to life with the energy needed to keep the retreat running. Inside, it also housed the laundry, the constant rhythm of wash and steam echoing through the canyon. Today, the canyon barn has taken on a new role. Step inside and you'll find the resort's museum, where time slows and stories from the past are carefully preserved. Old photographs, artifacts, and records trace the long and colorful history of this oasis, letting visitors glimpse the lives and eras that shaped it. Sharing the space is the resort's gift shop, a spot where guests can take a piece of Castle Hot Springs home with them. Right now, it's mid-transformation as the team prepares for the upcoming season, a redesign that promises to blend the history of this place with something fresh and welcoming. As we make our way up the canyon toward the hot springs, a small detour reveals a hidden oasis. Nestled beside the gentle creek and shaded by a stand of tall palms, two hammocks sway lightly in the breeze, an unspoken invitation to linger, perhaps even drift into an afternoon nap. A little farther along, a simple bench appears, perfectly placed for quiet reflection or losing yourself in the pages of a good book. It feels like a secret corner of the desert designed purely for rest and stillness. At last, the trail opens up, and the springs reveal themselves. Before you lies the wide expanse of the second pool, its waters shimmering at a perfect 96 degrees, warm enough to melt away tension, yet gentle enough for long, lingering soaks. As you slip in, the canyon walls rise up around you like ancient guardians, their rugged faces etched with time. Now comes the main event. We climb the stairs to the upper deck, the anticipation building with every step. The path winds past the wide expanse of the large pool until at last we arrive at what is known as the first pool. Here, from the very heart of the Bradshaw Mountains, a mineral-rich elixir bursts into daylight, spilling over in a dazzling cascade. It's humbling to think that this water began its journey thousands of years ago, falling as rain before sinking deep into the earth. Through hidden cracks and underground streams, it traveled in darkness, slowly warmed by the planet's heat, and infused along the way with a rare blend of minerals. Now its long pilgrimage ends here, emerging in a rush of clarity and strength, a gift from the mountains themselves. The top pool, the closest point to the source itself. Here the earth unveils its gift, water rising at a soothing 106 degrees. Around you, waterfalls spill in gentle cascades, their chorus of sound blending with the stillness of the canyon. The surface glimmers like polished glass, mirroring the vibrant hues of stone and sky, transforming each moment into something timeless and unforgettable. What a journey this has been, from the dusty back roads of the Bradshaw Mountains to the hidden oasis of Castle Hot Springs. Once a forgotten relic of Arizona's past, it's now a world-class resort that blends history, luxury, and the raw beauty of the desert into something truly extraordinary. A reminder that sometimes the most remarkable destinations aren't across an ocean. They're tucked away, waiting to be discovered right in our own backyard. If you enjoyed this adventure, be sure to subscribe and join us next time as we set out to uncover more hidden gems and stories worth sharing.